What is up, YouTube? I am Eric and you are watching Retro Video Game Pickups, and today we are going to be talking about Pokemon Quest on the Nintendo Switch. So if you like games, consoles, or product reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. With that being said, let's hop into it. So if you have watched any gaming related news lately, you have seen that Pokemon is blowing up, and there's a few good games on the horizon that are going to be pretty awesome, or I think are going to be awesome. But so we're going to be talking about Pokemon Quest today because I got it today and I've been having so much fun. I've probably played it for at least 3 hours by now, and it's something that is different for the Pokemon franchise, but I think it's very awesome as well because I've seen things that are coming to Pokemon that are different. You've got Pokemon Go a few years ago. You've got Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee coming out in the fall, which looks really awesome. There's even that Pokeball Plus that I think I want to get because it looks like a weird, wacky Joy-Con accessory, but I want it. It looks cool, so I'm definitely going to pick that up. But I definitely love Pokemon. I got some Pokemon amiibos. I've got some Pokemon stuff related just laying around right here. And I have other Pokemon stuff strewn around various places because I am definitely a Pokemon fan. Now, I've not played all the Pokemon games, but for the most part, I am very well versed in at least most of them. I've had a ton of fun in all the Pokemon games that I've played. Even Pokemon Go, when it started, I was loving it. Now, it got to the point where it was kind of stagnant and I stopped, but before that, it was still very fun. Now, Pokemon Quest is completely different. It's weird and wacky, and it's probably a little hard to explain, but I'm going to do my best to tell you guys what I think of it and what it's about, because it's one of those games that Nintendo just dropped on us, or the Pokemon Company, depending on how you look at it. But it's really fun, and I've been spending so much time on it here today, and I thought that I would make this video to let you guys know my early impressions and see what I think about it. Yes, it is a Nintendo Switch download currently. I heard it's coming to iOS and Android in the future, and I heard some stories about DLC, but I don't know what that's all about. I saw some extra Pokemon that you would get when you bought the DLC and some other cooking pots to attract Pokemon. So we'll get into the game now and really fully talk about it. Now, this game really reminds me of Minecraft just because of the graphics and the way it's set up, and it looks pretty cool that way. If you've ever played Kamiko, the backgrounds actually remind me of that game, and even the sprites on the screen, sprites that look really pretty good. They look decent enough, and when I first saw this, I said, wow, those Pokemon are cute, because they just embody the Pokemon so good, and they looked well, even though they're in this block form, which is really pretty cool. Now, the basis of this game is each level you have a few little fighter rounds, and then you have the main boss for that level, and then each world kind of has like 4 or 5 levels and then a big boss, and it's really pretty fun. It's a weird and wacky way of doing it. Now, you start off with picking either one of the 5 starter Pokemon. You've got Charmander, you've got Bulbasaur, you've got Eevee, you've got Pikachu, and you've got Eevee. All those are cool. I picked Charmander because, well, obviously if you saw the thumbnail, I had a Charmander in my hand, and he or she, whichever sex it is, you actually get to pick that, and I'm really glad about that. But when you start the game off, you don't really have any friends. You're just kind of by yourself. You battle once, but then it takes you to your base, they call it, and there's a cooking pot in the middle. So what you do is you go around and collect things in the wild that you found, and then you can put them all in this cook pot and make a recipe that's kind of appealing for Pokemon, and then they come in and you get more friends and people you can, Pokemon you can battle and train with and all that. And that's kind of a cool concept because it kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild at this aspect, because you're cooking with these items that you found and trying to make different recipes, and it's really cool that way. Now, I did have to play about 2 or 3 to 4 or 5 levels depending on where I was in the progression of the cooking pot in order to attract more. Now, it seems like the more you go on, the cooking pot actually attracts higher level Pokemon, which is really good because there was a point where I got stuck and I needed some higher level Pokemon to get through a level, but I couldn't do that. So I went back, did a few other ones, collected some stuff, and then also cooked my pot up, and it finally cooked, and then it pulled in a Pokemon that I was then able to take with me and go and actually defeat the boss that I was having problems with. That's a really cool aspect of it because you're not just wandering and picking things up at this point. You kind of are going in and getting things to pick up, like items and power stones and all that, and then you're using items to cook with. But one thing I liked about this is once you get your 3 Pokemon that you're going to fight with, you can go in and add power stones, which either help their HP or their attack, which is really cool. And then there's some other stones that are in there that are helping with your buddies. So if you use one stone, it'll make your buddy be 25% more efficient and all that. And that's kind of cool because you can say, okay, this is my highest ranked Pokemon, I'm going to give him all the high stuff. Or you could take all your medium ones or your low ones and put them up there and give them the high stuff and boom, boost them up. But overall it's pretty cool because you can mix and match, and say you go into a battle and you lose, you can come back out, mix and match those stones to make your Pokemon either more powerful or change Pokemon to where they are able to defeat that kind of Pokemon that you're playing. And it's kind of a strategy game at that point. Now, the graphics are pretty simple, but that's really cool. I think the minimalistic look of it looks really cool, and I'm very happy about that because it just was comfortable, and it reminded me of Kamiko, like I said. But back to the Kamiko, the music in Kamiko was so good, and I feel like the music in Pokemon Quest really stands up to that, and I think it's definitely a very good, well done, composed soundtrack, because when I was listening to it I was like, okay, this is kind of in that same vein, it's kind of chill, but it sounds really great. And that's one thing I like about this. Now, fighting is also one of those cool things that once you get into a battle, at the bottom it shows each one of your 3 Pokemon, and some can only do 1 move and others can do 2. And once they do that move, it's about 5 to 10 seconds, depending on what stones and all that, till they can attack again. And you can also, there's like a triangle button up there. If you have used all your attack, you can press that and your Pokemon kind of scatter out, and then they can build up their power and come back and actually attack again. That's really cool. I thought that was fun and very entertaining. It makes this game fun and also easy to learn. So with that being said, I think this is definitely a good step for Pokemon onto the Nintendo Switch, because we haven't seen anything that has really been out there or anything creative enough really with the Pokemon series. I think this is a little one that works well for Pokemon, and it steps out for the Nintendo Switch. Now, they are stepping out with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Those things look great. At first I was afraid that the Pokemon Go aspect was really going to get in the way, but then I stopped and thought about it and watched the trailer over. I've probably watched it about 5 times, and I really figured out that this game is going to be fun. Now, I'm going to play Pokemon Quest until I get to that point to where they release that. Then I will play Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee, whichever one I decide at that point. But with that being said, comment below and let me know if you've seen this video game, if you've seen things or people, what they've said about it, if you've played it, and let me know what you think about it. Don't forget about that Facebook, that Twitter, that Instagram, that Patreon, or that big cartel. All those links are in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. And with that being said, just thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. But most of all, have a good day.